Hi, my name is Steve Sharp. I'm from Esteem Therapy. I'm going to be talking to you about the causes of sex and porn addictions and how to stop them. We will cover in that time what causes sex and/or porn addiction. We'll be looking at the simple explanation and also looking at the more complex explanation. We're going to look at how you stop the addiction at both those two levels, the simple and the more complex. As part of the simple approach to stopping an addiction, I'm going to be talking through a set of tools that I use with my clients, which is set out under the acronym Midas. So the simple idea about the cause of sex and porn addiction is related to our emotions. Something happens, an event, an incident at work, in a relationship, brain detects a threat, and from that detection of threat comes an emotion of fear, and that leads us to flee to safety, to get away from danger. So you can see what's happening here in effect is a pretty basic instinctual survival response to danger. So something gives us a threat, our brain picks this up as part of our survival process. It generates fear and we get ourselves to a place of safety. The modern world is just not dangerous in the same sense. We don't meet grizzly bears and saber-toothed tigers walking down the street anymore, but we do have modern versions of threats, things that happen at work or in our relationships, or perhaps through traumas like bereavements and experiences perhaps as a child. So that place of safety in this context here is sex and porn addiction. This offers a place of safety and refuge from scary things. The more complex picture of causes, as I mentioned earlier, the addict might do in therapy. There will definitely be exploration of the background and life experience and environmental factors. All these can be causal factors for the need for sex and porn addiction, as well as the present context. What's going on in individuals' lives at the moment can often be triggers based on some of this background material. So what we're focusing really on here is the simple approach to causes, the simple treatment approach to get you stopped. The simple answer is to reappraise the threat and to feel a different emotion. So the fear of this event, which is often unnecessary or distorted or irrational, becomes indifference or calmness or acceptance, or maybe a newfound composure. And with that comes a negation of the need to flee to safety, because you feel calm, you feel safe, and therefore there's no need for a safety behavior such as an addiction. Behind that is the more complex answer. So some of those background complexities about why people turn to addictions, all of these would need to be addressed and resolved as far as possible, particularly in order to prevent relapse. So the complex answer is really relevant to long-term recovery, whereas the simple answer, the simple approach to stopping, is to enable people, enable addicts to get into a good period of abstinence and early recovery. So how do I help clients get into abstinence? Well, I tell them first of all not to think too much about the long term. That can be overwhelming. Well, we work towards an achievable goal, which is usually about 3 months, and willpower alone, as I also say, is insufficient. Do not try and do this purely on the basis of willpower. These tools are very important and very effective, and it's very difficult for people to overcome addiction without using these techniques. Now, 3 parts to this piece of work. One is to confront each craving as they occur, in place of the behaviours that might result from those cravings, to insert a new activity or a diversion. And then when that piece of work is successful, reward for winning, but it's also a celebration that you're not experiencing negative consequences like guilt and shame and so on. To help clients through this 3-stage simple process, which is really about retraining the brain, it's unlearning some old habits and relearning some new. We use the Midas toolkit to underpin this work. These are the 3 stages, and the toolkit includes work on mindfulness so that the cravings can be identified and controlled. We look at ways to instantly distract or divert from those cravings, and we also do work on distortions. This help reconsider those and achieve it, as I say, a new level of composure. And then finally, we look at adverse consequences and self-validation, which helps the brain to understand and appreciate that the changes are beneficial. So thank you for watching.